Hello and welcome back to Niche Radio every Wednesday from 6 until 7 o'clock. We are your hosts, the incredible, amazing Owen Duncan and the beautiful
Connell Taylor.
And we're here to rock your socks off tonight. And now, we'll get topless.
Fab Radio.
You're listening to Niche Radio here on FabRadioInternational.com, going out live every Wednesday at 6 p.m. till 7 p.m, repeated every Saturday evening at 9. If you want to join in live with today's show, tweet us anytime during the show at Niche Radio.
Hello, ladies and gents, geeks, nerds, dweebs, browncoats, Klingons, and everybody else. How's it going?
I'm very well. I'm going to include myself as a browncoat on that list.
Okay, not a Klingon?
No. Although I would be pleased to be a Klingon.
Yeah, same, drinking blood wine, saying Kapla a lot, being friends with General Martok, who's an absolute dude. So, there.
Could be a fun life being a Klingon.
It could. Point proven. End of the debate. See you guys later next week. Thanks for tuning in.
I take it all back. I think I'd prefer to be a Vulcan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
An emotionless husk. Where's the fun of the thrill of battle? Where's all the gach? All the live worms you could eat. Lovely. So, hello, ladies and gents, and welcome back to another incredible Niche Radio on Fab Radio International. Please get involved with the show because we're going out live. So, if there's any mistakes, you get to hear them first. And get onto our Facebook, Niche Nights, or preferably our Twitter, at Niche Radio. And subscribe to our YouTube channel where you'll be able to hear this and much, much more over and over again, which is Niche Nights. Yeah. So, what's been happening, Connell? Anything new?
I'm having a lovely day off work, and it's been lovely and sunny.
Yeah, it has.
It's been a great day, actually.
You know what? I'm glistening with sweat. I really am. Like, totally. Like, if you've seen Chris Pratt in Jurassic World, he's called Owen. I'm called Owen, and we're both glistening with sweat.
You're glowing. You're like you're pregnant.
I feel it. In a good way.
With a dinosaur, I hope.
Yeah, hopefully. I think giving birth to a massive dinosaur egg might hurt.
Can you call it a Diplodocus?
Oh, yeah. Or no, actually, no, I can't do better than that. That's it. That's
Top
it.
of my head, I was pretty pleased with that.
Yeah.
If you can think of more dinosaur names from Owen.
Please tweet to us this very second. And in fact, Cole, take the reins for a second. I'm going to take my shirt off.
Okay. If I was a dinosaur, I've never thought about this, an actual name for myself as a dinosaur before. What would I be? Chronolosaurus is too easy.
Oh, yeah. What about a T-sex?
T-sex. T-sex.
Because that's like tea and sex. You're like two of your favourites, right?
Because my surname's Taylor. T-sex.
Oh, I thought it was just because you like tea.
Well, that too.
Ah, it's like
double
a
entendre.
Oh, baby. So today on the show, we've got tons of stuff for you happening, hip-hop and happening. I'm topless. I'm sure Connell's going to follow suit sooner or later. We're drinking Rubicon. It's quite nice. And we'll be talking about everything geeky. We'll be talking about David Tennant. We'll be mentioning Ant-Man, Wasp. We'll be talking about the new Spiderman, loads and loads and loads of stuff. And a little bit about Deadpool and Harley Quinn later on. It's going to be very superhero-y today.
We've also got a good quiz for you coming up later. So get your pens or crayons ready.
Excellent. I've got my crayon at the ready right now. And also later on, we'll be discussing if the Star Wars and Star Trek universes combined, what would happen? So, before we carry on with that, here's a bit of this.
What's new? What's new? What's new in Forbidden Planet?
So today in Forbidden Planet we have had tons of merchandise released this very day, only hit the shelves this morning, and we're going to tell you all about it in case you want to buy some, because it's very nice. And also, if you come and visit us at Forbidden Planet Manchester on Oldham Street, we're a friendly bunch and we get lonely without customers. So please coax yourselves in. And today, there's only one item of merch that I want to talk about. There has been more merch in the shop, but there's only one that, for me, is worth talking about. It makes all the others look like guff.
Did you get a life-size real to life feel with a pulse. Everything's real, and it's actually her, Felicia Day.
No, if only. Almost as good. It's not life size.
Nathan Fillion.
No, it is in fact the Funko Legacy Jane Cobb figure with hat.
Excellent.
With the hat. It's the variant version with his cute orange knitted hat from his mum. So everybody, you should rush down and buy that now. It is on shelves for standard RRP and is lovely. But before we dwell on the beautiful Jane, the man we call Jane, the hero of Canton, we will just sidle into manga quickly. So this week we have had Dead Man Wonderland Volume 9. We have had Gundam, as in Mobile Suit Gundam, the big posh hardback Volume 10. Also, Resident Evil manga, yes, you heard me right, Resident Evil manga, Volume 4. And the Studio Ghibli Handbook. For anyone who needs to know all the background facts about their favourite Ghibli films, we have tons of these in stock now, so you can just carry it around with you. So next time someone's like, oh, you know that film, My Neighbour Pompoko, you can be like, actually, I think you'll find if I can sell my Ghibli Handbook, you've just got that title incorrect, and you are melding together two Ghibli films which are both astonishing. Like that. Moving on from manga. We've had tons of comics in as well. I'm going to keep it brief because there have been an absolute buttload. But the ones that the creme de la creme, the cream of the crop that rise to the top, We Are Robin, issue 1, which is part of the Convergence DC event, the aftermath of that, where there's tons of different Robins from all the different universes that are kind of making a Robin-y team. So if you're ever a fan of any Robin, any one or two Robins, then this is the one for you. And it's the first one, so you can get on. It's a brilliant jumping on point and lots of fun. Then,
have you ever seen that episode of Family Guy where every time Peter says Meg, he goes...
Oh, and yeah.
I think we should make that noise every time one of us says DC.
I think we should, because they do suck pretty hard. I think DC stands for Don't Comic everywhere. Also, Marvel, on the sunny side of the street. There is a big postmodern bricolage of intertextuality. They've got a bit tits mental, basically, is what I'm getting at, because there's a Battle World Age of Ultron versus Marvel Zombies crossover, Secret Wars. So, I mean, if I'm running out of fingers, but I count at least 4 different classic Marvel titles that they've mooshed together to create this monstrosity. Well, they're zombies, so there's got to be a monstrosity, right? But that looks quite interesting, because Age of Ultron was about loads of Ultrons. About Marvel Zombies was about a lot of zombies. So I guess what we're going to get is just loads of robots fighting loads of zombies, which, if you ask me, can't be a bad thing. Although the robots would inevitably win, surely, because unless they do something weird where, somehow a biological virus can infect a computer, which is ridiculous. I mean, I'm no scientist, but that sounds ridiculous to me. Unless you could do that, the robots are bound to win.
Would have tried it, though.
Yeah, definitely. That's got to have been thought of.
That also brings us quite nicely onto our next section later on.
Yes, it does. Talking of ultimate death, the next one I was going to talk about is E is for Extinction. Which is
Amy.
Is E for Extinction, which is a play on one of the old X-Men titles, which they've revamped for part of the Secret Wars aftermath as well, which is an issue 1. So if you want to get on board with a bit of X-Men nostalgia, this is the place. We'll be talking more about X-Men nostalgia a little later. Also, there's been Fight Club issue 2. Now, this is Fight Club 2 issue 2. So the kind of the aftermath, the sequel, which has been selling out, of course, because Fight Club is one of the biggest films, one of the cult classics, if you will. That's cult classics. And there's also Planet Hulk issue 2. Again, another kind of rehash, one of the classic Marvel tie-ins. And it was absolutely amazing, the original Planet Hulk. So I'm quite interested to see where this one goes. Tomb Raider issue 17 has been out, and Evil Dead 2 issue 1, Beyond Dead by Dawn, which is kind of like a prequel. I'm not entirely sure how that works.
Dead by Dawn. So just a prequel.
So it's a
so
it's a prequel to the sequel, but it's a sequel to the prequel.
Dead by Dawn was the first one, wasn't it?
Is there a threequel?
There's 3 films.
Are they each equal?
Yes. No, the first one's definitely the best by far.
Yeah, well, in that case, everybody should come in and buy this comic. So there. And last, but by no means least, in fact, I saved my favourite. You gotta save the best till last. And it's true, because it's X-Men 92, issue 1. Now, not just any X-Men comic, no. This is the X-Men comic that is a homage, if you will, l'hommage to the old school X-Men 90s comics. TV show. The old cartoons with yeah, so it's a homage to those that era of X-Men. So like the really, really kind of camp outfits, the best iteration of Storm in any medium, where she used to chant whatever she was doing and go powers of wind. It's brilliant. So yeah, issue 1 of that has hit the shelves, and there's going to be tons more of that coming out. And that's probably the only thing this week that I've actually bought for myself, because I was that intrigued by it. Nostalgia wave. And that's it for what's new in Forbidden Planet for today. Tune in next week for much, much more. And please get onto our YouTube on Niche Nights to hear all the old stuff that's been in Forbidden Planet, because you never can get too much Forbidden Planet. Come in and visit. I'll be off for 11 days, so it's probably safe.
Listen back to old shows and you'll realise what's now in the reduced section.
Yeah, that's it. All the stuff that you could probably go in, and if you can find it on the shelves, it's now retro and cool, therefore worth 10 times as much on eBay.
Yeah.
That's that's pretty savvy.
The trick is just go in a store with a big coat, steal a bunch of stuff, and then sell it on eBay.
No. We're not allowed to advocate theft from my own shop on the radio show that advertises our own shop. That's not cool. Please, ladies and gents, just don't listen to Connell. Please stop stealing our stuff.
It's too hot for a big coat anyway. You'll be obvious what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. And big coats are totally out of fashion. So there. In the meantime, on a brighter note, here's a thing.
You're listening to Niche Radio here on Fab Radio International every Wednesday, 6 p.m. till 7 p.m. If you want to listen again, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Niche Radio, or follow us on Twitter at Niche Radio.
Fab Radio.
Quiz. 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 Do you have a pen?
Yeah.
Do you have a piece of paper?
Yeah.
If you're at home, do you have any of these things?
A crayon?
A crayon? A laptop in front of you?
Do you have a will to learn or to succeed in quizzes?
Then you're in the right place.
Oh, holy fudge.
First of all, I think some people, I got in touch and said they're listening, so hello Amy, who is my best friend on the planet.
Whoop whoop. That's today's
Ellie as
theme
well,
for
I
the show.
believe.
Yeah, big up to Ellie, who is listening now. She has been entertaining me all day. And also a big hello to Tony Teflon, who has had some excellent news today, and we congratulate him verily by giving him high fives and geeky vibes. Anyone else listening today? I'm sure there was somebody else. There must be at least one other person, right?
If you are, get in touch.
Yeah.
Also, do the quiz.
Oh, yeah.
How it works. I'm going to ask you 5 questions. Owen's going to or ah or in any way make a noise that he knows the answer, doesn't know the answer, or thinks he's got a decent guess.
Yeah, I'll indicate.
I'll ask you 5 questions. We'll play the theme again. Come back and give you the answers. So, grab a pen. Get ready. Owen.
For Asgard.
For Asgard. Alright, so question 1. Question 1 is the toughest one of all. Sorry about this. In Firefly, the Alliance officer and soldier uniforms are leftovers from which film? There's only so many films around that era where they would have a similar sort of uniform. It's also sci-fi.
Yeah, okay. I've got an idea. It's wrong, but it's an idea. That's what counts. It's taking part that counts.
I know you
kids.
like this film because everyone likes this film because it's a great film.
Okay.
Cool. Question 2. Might as well be written for you.
Neat.
Which show was Count Duckula a spin-off from?
Whoop. Yeah.
That's which show was Count Duckula a spin-off from?
I think I know that one.
Question 3.
Mm-hmm.
Which television show featured the first ever televised interracial kiss?
Interracial kiss.
Yep.
Is it? I mean, I guess it's a geeky show, right?
Yep.
Oh. Okay.
You can very much guarantee that everything on my big list of questions is geeky. Apart from the next question.
Oh,
which
that's
is a
right.
bit geeky.
We host a geeky radio show. I knew there was a theme somewhere. It wasn't just that Amy was your best friend.
So, question 3. Which show features the first ever televised interracial kiss? Question 4. In which year did Gillian Anderson, for those who live on the moon, that's Dana Scully from the X-Files, in which year was she voted Sexiest Woman on the Planet by FHM magazine? I'll give you a clue. It was pretty early days of X-Files.
Okay.
I think it was 3rd season.
Okay, cool.
Cool. Question 5.
I'm just going from the spaced quote, but I can't remember it accurately.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Question 5 is true or false. So, is this true or false, Owen? Russell T Davies originally wanted to cast Kate Winslet to play River Song, the Doctor's wife. Originally, Russell T Davies wanted to and tried to recruit Kate Winslet to play River Song.
Okay. All right. No.
I'll sing you a song while you're writing down your answers.
In the meantime, should we play this song?
Quiz! 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 Quiz answers.
All right.
Hi, Amy.
Hi.
So, if anyone gets 5 out of 5 or beats Owen,
Not literally. That would be mean.
I don't mind.
Yeah.
Send it in, either on Twitter or write a little comment underneath one of our videos on YouTube. I don't mind which.
Yeah, because as geeks, if you've won, let's be smug about it.
Yeah, definitely. Question 1. In Firefly, the Alliance officer and soldiers' uniforms were leftovers from which film?
Starship Troopers.
It was Starship Troopers.
Hey! He tried to make a face then as if I hadn't got it right, but I knew in my soul.
And I think I might watch Starship Troopers tonight.
Yeah, I haven't watched it for a long time. Let's give that. I'm just going to check my sheet here, just by question 1.
This is good. Or actually, I might watch Sin City 2, which is now on Netflix as of the other day.
Ah, yes, I heard that.
Quite excited.
Heard that. Yeah, I've not seen it yet, so
I'll watch both.
Yeah, why not? Back to back Sin City Fest.
No, I take it all
Sin
back.
Fest.
I'm going to watch the first episode of Firefly, followed by Starship Troopers, followed by the remainder of Firefly, followed by Serenity, and I'm not going to sleep.
Okay, cool.
That's my plan.
Neat.
Now I'll carry on the quiz.
All right.
Question 2. Hi, Amy. Which show was Count Duckula a spin-off from?
Was it Danger Mouse?
It was, of course, Danger Mouse.
Ding ding.
Bing, bing, bing.
2 out of 2. That's 100% of the first 2 questions right.
We also haven't told you, mostly because the first question I thought was quite difficult. If Owen gets all 5 right, we get to play or sing the Final Fantasy VII theme tune.
Yep, we do indeed, and it's
Victory
what I look
theme.
forward to every week. But I've only managed it once or twice, I think.
You have?
I think a couple of times we played it anyway.
And none in this new series of the second.
Yeah, quite.
Question 3. Which TV show featured the first televised interracial kiss?
I reckon it was Star Trek.
Would you expand?
I reckon it was in one of the Star Trek films, in fact, not a TV show. I thought that the very first one was between Uhura and Kirk, possibly in The Wrath of Khan, but I might have got that confused. But originally it was written for Spock and Uhura to kiss, but William Shatner kicked up such a fuss that they didn't kiss. And that the Spock and Uhura didn't kiss, and William Shatner took the smooching role, therefore making him the groundbreaking record setter and knocking Leonard Nimoy to the back seat. However, when they rehashed it most recently in the recent Star Trek films, where they just borrowed the old scripts because they ran out of ideas, they reversed it back to the original script to make sure it was all hunky-dory, and then what's his face who played Spock in the new ones? Oh, I can't remember his name.
Quintery? Something like that.
Zachary Quinto. There we
Yeah.
go. Yeah, and I knew her get a smooch. But that might be wrong. I don't know.
It's close enough. It wasn't in the film. It was in Star Trek original series. In fact, it was in
cool.
Series 3, Episode 10, the episode called Plato's Stepchildren.
Oh, okay.
But I'll give you that.
Do I get a point just for blagging?
Yeah.
All right, sweet.
I'll give you an extra point if you can name the only film that Zachary Quinto has directed.
The only film.
Yep. He made a film, released it himself, and it was released on they're called Intense Distribution Company, which is in Manchester.
Oh. You've told me something about this before. I'm going to call it...
I'll give you a clue.
Screaming Leek Sandwich.
Nope, it's Banshee. It's actually quite scary.
Oh, okay.
Question 4. In which year was Gillian Anderson, Dana Scully, voted sexiest woman on the planet by FHM?
I reckon my first guess was 1997. Then I changed it to 1998, which I think is wrong. But then I thought it might be 1995, which is probably wrong. So I'm going to go with 1998.
It was the only one around those that you didn't say. It was 1996.
Oh, of course it was. No victory theme for me.
Which coincidentally was the year that the new Spider-Man was born.
Huh. Interesting.
Right, true or false? Russell T Davies, this is question 5, originally wanted Kate Winslet to play River Song, the Doctor's wife.
So I want to say false, and I wanted to say, and did say false last time, but I get a feeling that it's going to be true simply because it gives you a better excuse to tell us an interesting fact about Doctor Who.
Owen knows me far too well.
I'm taking this right now.
And it's true, because I just wanted to tell you an interesting fact about Doctor Who.
Well, thank you. That was interesting.
I think you've spoiled every true or false which is about Doctor Who for the rest of this season, because they're all going to be true.
Spoiler alert. Oh, dear.
If you've been listening at home and you got 5 out of 5,
Ding, ding.
then tell us about it.
Yeah, good
Get in
work.
touch. Give us a tweet, a hashtag, whatever the hell those are.
Yeah, and play yourself the Final Fantasy VII Victory theme tune, because I'm now going to have to delete it from my playlist and look sad while colouring in my own nipples. Well, I think we should swiftly move on, because I'm pretty sore about that defeat. Here's the next thing.
Hey Owen, should we talk about a randomly selected actor of the week?
Alright.
And born in the same year as Gillian Anderson was voted Sexiest Woman of the Year by FHM Magazine in 1996, is this week's randomly selected actor of the week.
Hey.
It is Tom Holland.
Hey.
Who, for those of you who don't know, and I imagine anyone who listens to the show already does, is going to be the new Spider-Man.
He is indeed. He is. New announcement. Happy days. We've got a new Spider-Man. Not that there was anything wrong with the old one.
There was something wrong with the old one.
Yeah, Tobey Maguire. Well, he wasn't scripted very well. I had to do that stupid little dance around in the third one.
That annoyed the crap out of me.
Yeah, it was painful to watch. It still is. But the second one, what's his face? Yeah, that was all right.
Yeah. He made it not crap.
Yeah, but then even newer bloods, I'm happy to see how this pans out for better or worse, because the Marvel Studios and Disney have bought rights to have Spider-Man from Sony in a little deal to have him in this in the next film, Captain America: Civil War, which is brilliant.
Very, very pleased with this. Like, if you don't know, Sony owns Spider-Man, and it's the only thing in that world or character in that world that they own, which is why it gets skimmed over and everything else.
Yeah,
and it sucks. He should be in loads more.
Yeah, he should, and he's a massive part of the Avengers later on and all kinds of stuff. He's involved in loads of the biggest, in fact, pretty much all of the biggest storylines that Marvel have ever written, and even most of the great ones were written just about him.
I'd love to know how that happened. How they just randomly picked Spider-Man to own.
Yeah, well, they bought the rights to him first for the first 3 films, and that's why they also have the Fantastic Four rights, because they started doing those. And maybe the X-Men rights? I don't know, I'll get confused. Everyone owns different stuff now. But but I'm excited for it, because they're doing Civil War, and if anyone hasn't read Civil War, it's a brilliant Marvel story, and it has a lot of Spider-Man and in fact, in a very, very pivotal point, which I shan't spoil it for you now. Just read the comics, it's great. But yeah, he plays a very important role in it, so I'm glad that they've managed to blag him back into the Marvel fold, at least if it's just for one film. But Tom Holland also has signed on for a solo one, right? A solo Spidey.
Yeah, I believe he's doing one. He's already been signed up for that, which is coming out next year. Is it next year? Yes. No, 2017.
Okay.
And yeah, the solo Spider-Man, the reboot, is also 2017. And I take it back. Captain America: Civil War is going to be 2016.
Oh, excellent. Well, I'm looking forward to that. I'm glad it's sooner. Yeah, I think that'll be fun. And yeah, he's young. 96. I mean, I'm pretty sure I was growing a beard by then. I wasn't. I still can't grow a beard.
I probably tried a beer.
Yeah, I'd probably tried it. Oh yeah, I definitely tried a beer. Oh, were we? Like
7.
I'd have been 9. Yeah, I'd probably tried a beer. It's Hereford.
Probably. It's nice. It is nice that he's essentially unheard of. Just see a complete new character come into this sort of level of respect.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
Yeah, definitely. And he hasn't been in very much, has he? And he's done some dancey bits.
He has. In fact, we went through his IMDb, and there are 11 things on there, 2 of which are in the future. So I'm just going to read you them all, and apologise for the first one because it's very difficult to pronounce, and if I get it wrong, then I'll have gotten it wrong. First one is Chiari Guashi no Irieti.
Oh yeah, I like that film.
Oh, which I've just read, I think you can also call So. Subtitle So. He's also been in L'Eau Impossible and Locke and How I Live Now. He was also in, talking about dancing stuff, he was on Billy Elliot the musical.
I think that Locke one was a Tom Hardy film. That's what I heard. I heard that.
The Locke one, is it? Fair. Yeah, he was former Billy Elliot in the musical, which I suppose if he's going to be Spider-Man, he's got to be nimble and good on his feet. So
yeah, ballet dancer, perfect.
Like we were saying earlier about River Song being cast after the episode In the Wings from Angel. She was in that as the prima ballerina. Joss Whedon liked her so much he took her on to play River Song in Firefly.
Do you mean River Tam?
River Tam, sorry. Yeah,
cool. Got you. Yeah, she was dead good in that episode, wasn't she?
What's her name? Something Glau.
Summer Glau, yeah.
Summer Glau.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think it'd be really good. I mean, apparently there's YouTube videos of him doing backflips off his wall, so he's obviously quite nimble, which is perfect for Spidey.
Yeah.
So I think that'll pan out really well. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. We live in an exciting age of comics and comic-y films, don't we? Because there's so much coming out. There's new Fantastic Four due out soonish, and new Spider-Man. And Spider-Man's been ace, and he's been done so many times. Well, we've been done twice, but done pretty thoroughly.
Yeah.
But I still want to see more Spider-Man films. Even if we have to see a stupid origin story again.
I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah.
In fact, I'd like to see that done well. I'd like to see it done... Yeah, I'd like to see it again done well, because I didn't like that at all.
Yeah, it's been a bit tongue-in-cheek each time almost, hasn't it?
It has, which you kind of get that idea from Spider-Man, but they played on it too much in the films.
Yeah, I think so.
So the interesting thing about this week's randomly selected actor of the week is, as with everyone else on the planet, we don't know that much about him, but we're very excited because he looks awesome and seemingly deserves the respect he's getting from Marvel.
Yeah, we live in the hope of some awesome stuff from him and the film studio.
Tom Holland, Niche Radio is with you.
You have our sword, axe, bow.
As he's like 8-9 years younger than us, I think we can say.
Oh yeah, we can say Wordsworth. Yeah, and something we said to all aspiring young actors out there: Wordsworth. Okay, got all this hiding under the table. I'll play this nice song.
What if Wolverine's bones were made of chocolate?
What if Doctor Who used his powers to evil?
Oh, what if the Simpsons were all topless?
What if Bruce Banner never went to school?
What if...
Shut up! Niche Radio tells you what if.
And we're back. So thank you very much for tuning into Niche Radio on Fab Radio International. If you're just tuning in, we've talked about everything from all the new comics out this week. We've chatted about Spider-Man, we've talked about Wordsworth, Starship Troopers, Danger Mouse, and much more. We've also given massive shout outs to Amy, Ellie, and Teflon. And if you're listening, Big Dog, and if you're listening, Scarlet, word up. Most rad.
Most lad.
Most lads.
Most lads
Most lads
would agree that
Wordsworth.
this show is amazing.
Yeah.
Everybody likes to have a nice time.
I'm having such a nice time.
What we got coming up next then, eh?
Well, we just played the jingle for it. What if? What if we were actual radio presenters? No, today.
I'll be having a lot less fun.
Yeah, today we will be talking about something that's on everyone's minds. It's the question on everyone's lips.
What would happen if Star Trek entered the universe of Star Wars?
You made it sound saucy then. I like that. What if Star Trek entered the world of Star Wars? But yeah, what would happen if the two universes collided?
So we're going for specific ones, like, for example, what if the Enterprise flew into part of the universe, or like Q just threw them off into the distance and they woke up being surrounded by Jabba the Hutt and everyone.
Yeah. Okay, so essentially, if Gene Roddenberry and George Lucas had sat down for a spliff one night, and then after like the 55th one, we're like, you know what, mate? Why did we never work together, man? You could have had Darth Vader with like an army of Klingons. Captain Picard could have been like, I don't know, Jedi and stuff. Yeah, it could totally pan out.
Do you know how the origin story behind Raiders of the Lost Ark?
No?
When George Lucas put out A New Hope for Star Wars, he was adamant it was going to completely flop, like was completely paranoid. So he didn't even attend the premiere. He flew off to Hawaii with his good friend Steven Spielberg. And it didn't. It made a lot of money and they were very happy. So while they were there, they started talking about, Jesus, I didn't expect that, like what should we do? Wrote the entire story while they were there and put it out.
Yeah, brilliant. So, okay, so pissed up holiday ideas is the theme of this one.
Well, it bodes well if that's what happened last time that happened.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what Gene Roddenberry and Lucas have done. So they're sitting down and they're planning it out. How do you think the universes would interact? So with the Enterprise, which Enterprise? Next Gen?
It's got to be Jean-Luc Picard all the way.
Okay, so Jean-Luc Picard flies into Empire space and is greeted by Darth Vader. What's going to happen?
I think first of all he would offer him some breakfast.
Yeah.
I'm
Jean-Luc
Picard.
Would you like some breakfast? Would you like some Earl Grey? Hot?
This is not the breakfast stuff you're looking for.
Yeah. So it would be great though. I mean, you could have such iconic characters and species mixing together. I think that'd be great. You can have like an army of, I don't know, the Borg would fit in pretty nicely with all the drones.
That's true.
Yeah. The Clone Wars, like all the clones, that kind of ties in with the thing that's played on mostly in Deep Space Nine of Bashir being a genetically modified human, which was made illegal after some time. Because of course the Wrath of Khan stuff, there's a lot to do with that there. So it could be like a genetically modified human race of clones.
Yeah, with that in mind, do you think a lot of things would be ignored because the Sith or any other evildoers in the Star Wars universe would just focus on like the Borg and just try and assimilate them into their Clone Wars?
Well,
their clones.
Well, unless the Borg were such a threat that the Empire and the Jedis and the Rebels and everybody else had to just chill their boots and unite together against their common enemy, the Borg.
That would be interesting.
That would be interesting because there's lots of good and bad Jedis on both sides, so they could just team up, just settle their differences, sit down over a nice cup of Earl Grey, supplied by Jean-Luc Picard, and then go after the Borg.
Do you reckon the Jedis would see the phases that they have in Star Trek and turn lightsabers into saber guns?
Oh,
bits
okay, yeah.
However they explain away lightsabers.
Mind you, isn't that kind of like most of the blasters? Because they kind of shoot those weird light beams, they go pew pew, pew pew.
I suppose. Which are better, blasters or phasers?
Well, blasters have got a cooler name. Phasers sound like they would kind of phase through you, like they'd be kind of intangible.
Can blasters be set to stun? Or fun? Or love?
I hope they can be set to love. I'm going to blast you with my love.
What would happen if they turned into porn?
Yeah, well, they've both been parodied in porn, I'm sure.
Of course they must have done.
Yeah, definitely.
Racism busted.
You know what? I've got a theory about all this. So if the two universes combined, then Q is clearly a Master Jedi. Yoda, he can project his whatever over places and make people see him. He can move stuff around at will. He can't quite alter reality, but as close as you can get, he's got such mind powers that he may as well be able to. He can control people's minds. You could argue that Q is just making people hallucinate for all those times rather than making them actually move around and explode stuff.
Kind of makes more sense.
Yeah.
He could just be the ultimate Jedi.
Yeah. Okay. Q as Jedi. Sorted.
Yeah, I'd go with that.
I think we've cracked this then. So it's not like what if the two combine. This should be rename this section as this should. This should happen. Why have the two start? I mean, everyone gets them confused anyway. Somebody came in yesterday to the shop saying, "You right, mate? Have you got any Star Wars stuff?" And we're like, "Yeah, we've got loads." They're like, "No, wait there, hang on. I meant Star Trek stuff." And I was like, "Oh, it's all the same, mate. Got stars in it. No worries." But yeah, they do get confused a lot. So why not just make it easier for people that aren't really fans of the genre and just chuck them together? Starship Troopers, that's got a star in it. Chuck those in as well.
Are there any crossovers? Like, I know there's the Doctor Who and Star Trek crossovers.
You know what? I'm sure that must have happened at some point because there was a time, especially in the 90s, where licenses were being thrown around left, right and centre for various products. And you were getting so many different crossovers. Like there's one we've still got in print actually, which is quite an old one. Xena Warrior Princess and Ash from Evil Dead. And they even did a sequel to that called what? Another one? Yeah.
The funny thing is, like, at my work, I got an award on a night we did, and it was for biggest nerd. It was a bit of an award ceremony, but I noticed around the time anyone who doesn't like or doesn't know anything about sci-fi realizes you're into sci-fi, and one of the first questions is, so which one is it then? Star Trek or Star Wars? What?
Yeah.
Why is that the ultimate question?
Yeah, and I've always found that a bit
Just
ridiculous, to be honest. Yeah, I've always found that a bit ridiculous though, because I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Star Wars. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm putting my hands up. I don't dislike it by any means, apart from Jar Jar Binks. That guy is an absolute. But
I'm not a big fan of Star Wars.
No, it's something that I came to a bit later in life. I didn't grow up on the originals like a lot of other people that are very into it, so I didn't have that nostalgia value about it. I mean, they're great films, and I do enjoy them when I watch them. However, I don't think you can compare what is essentially 6 films and a couple of extra bits and then loads and loads of merchandise versus 4 seasons, both with sometimes 7 seasons within those seasons of Star Trek, and then an entire movie box set. It's they're
there are more
very
Star
different
Trek
things.
films than there are Star Wars films.
Yeah. Oh yeah, by far, because there were
Hands down.
Yeah, there's absolutely tons of the Star Trek films. Loads of the original.
We'll ignore the one where they go and save the whales because that doesn't actually exist.
No, you got to save whales. It doesn't matter if it's in a bad film. Whales are nice. I said
unless
that.
It's Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, in Assassin's Creed, I've been wailing on whales. Hey. Sorry to Peter. But yeah, no. I mean, you can't compare the two just because they're sci-fi. Yeah, I mean, you could compare lots of other stuff. I don't know. Like Star Trek is too big. There's just so much of it that when you say, oh well, what's it like compared to Star Wars? Well, Star Wars is 6 films, whether you want to ignore 3 of them or not. And then the Star Trek world is absolutely gigantic.
Here's a humongous question to be thrown at you, which is always fun.
Okay, cool.
So I think it was in the 90s, early 90s, we sent a probe into space with bits of gold or bits of wood or bits of Chuck Berry, some bark, as in the musician, not some trees, into space.
Either way makes sense, right?
Just and some, I think it was AB blood.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, in space. If anyone saw it, they could get a bit of an idea of us from that. If you were to do the same concept with sci-fi, give everyone a broad spectrum of all of them so they could decide what they wanted, which 3 would you pick?
What, so I'm picking 3 films or
anything sci-fi, but to cover all bases of taste.
Oh, okay.
So I reckon, for example, Battlestar Galactica is dark and long and one big story arc and detailed and all about the human endeavor, as opposed to sci-fi. There's no monster of the week.
Yeah, okay.
Whereas, Doctor Who is
is Monster of the Week.
Monster of the Week in childish because it's a kid's show.
Yeah, and then you could argue Star Trek's kind of the same about the human endeavour, but it does have Monster of the Week qualities. But then, the 60s, the original series versus, I don't know, Voyager, or dare I say Enterprise, the newer prequel. I can't answer that, but I would choose Firefly because it's the most fun look at sci-fi that doesn't really focus. It does focus on the bigger questions like alliance, so like the establishment versus those living on the edge. I
love close to now, but slightly futuristic, dystopian sort of, dystopian anything, which Firefly kind of is.
Yeah, and you notice that there's not any aliens in it. That was like a big part of it.
Yeah,
there aren't any aliens because it probably would start off that we'd be colonising our local galaxies before coming across any alien life. Because although, a lot of people argue it's very likely we'll find alien life eventually, the universe is pretty massive, and to find anything that would be similar enough to us for us to be able to communicate with may be unlikely. I don't know. That's a bigger question for another time, though.
It's true.
X-Files, that's sci-fi. That would be a good one to choose because it's very different. It's more detective program than it is space adventure.
Right, yeah. I didn't even think of that. I completely agree. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a nice cross-section. I wouldn't be able to choose between the Stars ones, though. I wouldn't be able to choose Star Trek or Star Wars because they're both good. Star Wars is more epic, kind of, I suppose, cheesy adventure, but it's not cheesy at the time. It's been made cheesy since because it's been emulated and copied so many times.
I think for this, it would have to be Star Wars because it's kind of one of its own.
Yeah, okay. I'll agree with that. Ladies and gents, though, this is a big, big question. One that two topless hunks in a TARDIS studio, cannot answer alone. We need your help. If you could please get in touch on Facebook on Niche Nights and on Twitter at Niche Radio. Tell us what you think. Call me all sorts of names if you've been very insulted by my lack of esteem for Star Wars. And let us know what three sci-fi anythings you would pick to send into space to show the rest of the universe that we have impeccable taste. That rhymed.
Cool.
Let's end on a high rhyme.
Talk about that space probe. Do you know why they put Bach on it instead of Beethoven? When the team were asked, oh, so you had all of these composers to choose from, why didn't you choose Beethoven, one of the most famous ones? And they just said, we didn't want to show off. Top.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I like that. So later on in the show, we'll be talking lots more stuff and who will win in a fight between
You're listening to Niche Radio here on Fab Radio International every Wednesday, 6 p.m. till 7 p.m. If you want to listen again, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Niche Radio, or follow us on Twitter at Niche Radio.
Fab Radio.
Geek Scene, what's happening locally and geekily.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Niche Radio with Owen Duncan and
Connell Taylor.
We're hot, we're sweaty, and we're topless in the TARDIS studio today. Big up to Amy, Ellie, and Scarlett, and Teflon, and Big Dog, and any of our other listeners. Please let us know you're listening. Tweet at us and Facebook the absolute norks off us. Today we'll be telling you about a few events that are coming up around Manchester and the Northwest because we have some beauties as geek culture becomes more and more popular, and there are more and more taboos broken down about geekery in general.
Talking about Star Wars, which we were a minute ago, there's a fan convention happening in December. It's for the love of the Force. A Star Wars fan convention at the Printworks. Is that the Printworks? No,
the Bowlers Exhibition Centre.
It's moved from the Printworks.
Yeah, well, it was there last year, but it has expanded because it was that good, and obviously there are that many Star Wars fans. Of course, there are in the Northwest and all across the country. People have come internationally to this last year, and yeah, for the love of the Force, in December 2015. That's this year, you know.
That is right at the end, though.
That is right at the end of this year.
You talk about the people who are going to make appearances. They've got people doing photos and signings and all of that gubbins. Not that expensive, really.
Definitely.
So we've got Tony Philpott, who was Jabba the Hutt, of course. Pam Rose.
Lee Sub-Serlin.
Who else have we got?
We've got an Ewok, Michael Henbury, and that's the one I want to meet because I think Ewoks are rad. Mind you, Jabba the Hutt's quite cool as well.
Yeah,
I'd want to eat. I want to eat. I want to eat any of them. Just gobble them up. Just want to meet him and just go. Oh, could I just eat a finger?
Realistically, if you're going to eat any of them, it would be Jabba the Hutt.
He'd fill you up, wouldn't he? I mean, you'd be at it for a while.
And just to say it as well, like I saw those films, never liked Jabba the Hutt. Yeah, me neither. So I ate him.
Yeah, but then you sound scary if everyone like, don't you love it how cute the Ewoks? Yeah, I ate one.
Talking about eating, they've just cancelled Hannibal.
Yeah, they have after 3 seasons, so no more nibbling for him.
So far, I've not seen season 3, but season 2 was pants.
Oh, that's a shame.
The daft thing is, the reason I hated it so much is it was shot really dark.
Really?
So, like, watching it on a decent TV at the right angle with the lights on, no like sun blaring through, did everything to make sure it was okay. It's difficult to watch. You're squinting or moving around thinking, like if you're watching it on your laptop next to a window.
Mind you, there were parts of Angel that were like that. It was so noir, it was almost, noir, completely black.
It was rubbish.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's also other guests as well. There is John Simpkin as Klaatu, Anthony Forrest, Sand Trooper, Trevor Butterfield, Lieutenant Blount, Lieutenant Blount? Yeah, Lieutenant Blount, that's the English way, isn't it? Chris, I can't pronounce the second name. Monk? Yeah, let's say
Monkey.
Monk. Yeah, well, I don't want to say monkey in a funny voice. That was just what I was trying to avoid, but he was Captain Kurgi. Plus many, many more. There's also a full-sized X-Wing and Scout Walker, an Ewok village, a cantina scene, Jabba's palace, Dagobah system, 3D light show, Jedi training school, costumers, photo ops, market stalls, live orchestra, and much, much more.
It's all presented by the Jollywood Show, which plays on Fab Radio International on a Monday. One of the guys who does that. All presented by them. Listen to their show. It's really good. It's about everything film and TV, mostly.
Yeah, they totally rule. And also the event is sponsored by Forbidden Planet International, who I hear hire really attractive staff.
I hear that.
I hear that. Also, if anyone's going to the MCM Manchester Comic Con, there is an after party, which you should go to at Fab Cafe. If you go onto Niche Nights on Facebook and look at our events, you will see that we are hosting a free after party for all those beautiful chumps dressed up or not dressed up who want to come and have a beer and dance to geeky TV themes, favourite gaming themes, and just a little variety of chiptune, funk, soul, rock and roll, and much, much more. We'll all be getting drunk, so please come down, have a boogie, and we'll talk about our favourite stuff. But yeah, in other geeky news, there's been tons. We've already gone over the Tom Holland as the new Spidey, and that is big, big news at the moment. I mean, that's kind of the big geeky news, because Spider-Man is such a beloved character. But also, we shouldn't forget other great Marvel characters. No. There's Ant-Man is coming out very soon, which is a bit of a left field hero for Marvel to choose, admittedly. You'd agree, right?
I'm going to have to go see it, but going to the cinema is expensive at the moment, and I get a bit bitter when I'm like one of those films I have to see because I have to see it, not want to see, like Ant-Man. I think it's going to be pants.
See, well, a lot of people thought that about Guardians of the Galaxy. We're like, who the hell are these guys? I mean, even Marvel fans were, people who read a lot of comics were a bit nonplussed about it because Guardians of the Galaxy hadn't had a comic out for years.
I thought Guardians of the Galaxy, the film, was average at best.
Well, it was a fun space romp, which is what Marvel are doing better than DC.
I'll give you that.
It was a fun space romp, and it wasn't meant to tie into the great big picture. It wasn't meant to make you start asking other questions, but it did have a cool ending bit. It had a few tidbits for the hardcore fans, and it was fun. It had an excellent, in fact, technically the best soundtrack ever, because every song on there had been a number one at some point.
It's true.
But yeah, so another left field choice is Ant-Man, which I was a bit confused because Ant-Man historically is Hank Pym in the Avengers. But in this one, we've always seen Michael Douglas playing an older Hank Pym who originally came up with Pym particles, making you shrink and be able to grow, hence Ant-Man. But he was famously married and had, an on and off romance with Wasp, who was one of the founding members of the Avengers and has been missing in all of the Marvel cinematic stuff so far. But apparently, there's been a Wasp flashback confirmed for Ant-Man, where we presume Michael Douglas talks about his earlier days with Pym Particles and the Avengers and S.H.I.E.L.D. in particular, which tie into Wasp. And we do see a little bit of her. And apparently we do see her eye really close up in the trailer. That's something that I missed. But then if it's just her eye close up,
That's
you're going to
easily
miss
missed.
that. Yeah, they might be having us on with that. I'm not entirely sure I believe them, but I'm going to watch the trailer tonight like a nerd anyway, so we'll find out. In other news, Sense8 was a recent TV show that I've been in talks with the big dog about. It has come onto Netflix. They've done another classic, release it all at once and let you binge watch it at your leisure. And according to Big Dog, it is, he quotes, awesome.
I heard that too.
Yeah,
So
so
seems to like it very much. Martha Jones is unfortunately, obviously, David Tennant's second sidekick in Doctor Who. Is apparently rubbish in it. She's one of the worst characters, which is disappointing.
that's a shame. But apparently it's very funny, has a lot of humour in it, and it involves people having mixed up senses, so being able to share each other's experiences and skill sets. But apparently it gets very serious towards the end.
It's a good idea. That you can kind of share your abilities with the team. I don't quite get how it works because I've not seen it.
We'll be hearing a lot more about that next week on the show. We'll be talking about it with our new guest, Big Dog, who will be on the show next week. If you tune in, we'll be talking lots about Sense8.
Excellent.
Also coming up, we have Green Lantern. There is a reboot rumoured to happen, and it looks like it's going ahead, which is kind of good, because the last one wasn't... I don't think it was a bad film, but it wasn't quite up to scratch. Again, DC, they let me down. But the reboot is rumoured to star more than one human, which leads me to believe that perhaps there will be more than just Hal Jordan in the fold. Maybe some of the other Green Lanterns, and maybe some other Lanterns in general, which leads me to conclude that perhaps they're doing Green Lantern Corps, as in Corps Corps, like Army Corps. So, which would be great, because that's been an excellent comic title for the last few years. And it'd be nice to see DC have more options. I'm getting winked at quite ferociously by Connell. Are you playing with yourself? Is that why I'm getting so much winky? And also, this is going to arouse you, Connell. In the pants. There's a Chew movie coming out. Now, Chew is a graphic novel by Image Comics, and it's
Cool, I like Image.
Yeah, released by Image, and it's about a detective who has the power to, whenever he eats something, he can he gains its most recent history. So if he was to eat your nose, he'd know that your nose and you had been in this sweaty studio for a little while, and before that you'd eaten some chicken pakoras. And maybe he'd know about your entire day. Well, I
That's
think
a really
it depends.
odd power.
Yeah.
Because it involves a lot of murder, I would imagine. Or at least maiming.
Yeah, a bit. Yeah, he has to eat a lot of corpses. And your favourite is playing him, or at least rumoured to, Dave Tennant.
Excellent.
Who we've just mentioned. Yeah, David Tennant is looking like he's going to be a shoo-in for the Chew movie.
With what accent?
Well, it's a comic, so he doesn't technically have an accent. But as he's written, I've always kind of thought he was kind of Northern American. But then, that could just be me and my imagination.
He is good at accents. I didn't even know he was Scottish until like the third episode he was in, I think, called Torchwood.
There we go. Yeah, so that is coming out soon. There's going to be tons of cool stuff. Tons and tons.
It's very exciting.
It is indeed. But unfortunately, it's nearly the end of the show, so let's just click this button and see what happens.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the title fight, the greatest moment in superhero versus supervillain history. In the red corner, the almighty, the upstanding pillar of all that is good, and in the blue corner, the devious, the Machiavellian, the dastardly loser of all time. Who would win in a fight? You decide. Ready? Fight!
So, who would win in a fight? This time I'm going to rattle through with a DC versus Marvel, talking about mental health, because in Marvel there are two people that strike me as the crazy ones. One being Deadpool, who was meant to be driven mad by all the experiments that were done on him at the Weapon X program, and the other is the Sentry, who's meant to have a kind of split personality thing going on, where the goodie in him is like he's Superman, essentially Superman powered. He can fly super fast. He's so strong he can rip Ares, the god of war, in two. He's pretty badass. And when he's good, he's very, very good. But when he's bad, he's the Void, which is his alter ego, which is kind of like his dark, repressed something, which comes out and is pretty mean. So we've got those two versus, in DC, Harley Quinn. who is Harleen Quinzel, the doctor who first studies Joker and ends up falling in love with him a bit, and then kind of going a bit mental through, well, I don't know, I guess constantly being turned down.
Do you think Harley Quinn
There must be a better
is
origin.
actually crazy? Or do you think she's uncaring and excitable and having fun?
Well, yeah, she's kind of
Evil as opposed to crazy, but in a having fun way.
Well, I think I encapsulated it best when I said she's the sort of crazy where you might wear ripped tights and listen to some punk rock kind of crazy. Like
Avril Lavigne crazy.
Yeah, I mean, she's probably into Skater Boys, but then if they actually treated her badly, she'd cry about it quite a bit and get her dad to buy her a pony.
Exactly like the Joker.
Yeah.
Apart from the pony bit.
Yeah, there's not enough ponies in DC Comics.
My
So,
little
well,
pony.
I think we've running out of time, so I think as a snap judgment that Deadpool would kick Harley Quinn's ass because he's a mercenary he can heal himself like Wolverine can, same healing factor.
Harley Quinn hasn't got anything about her really. She's just a crazy human.
Yeah, she carries a baseball bat and has fun antics. Occasionally wears roller skates and kisses people.
She's got smarts.
She got smarts. Yeah, she got street smarts. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she does beat up people brutally. She's been known to kill a lot of people. So she's not just as cutesy as she's kind of been made out to be in recent Harley Quinn comics. And she does have quite a dark kind of tortured past. But I still think Deadpool would rip her to shreds.
Yeah, or just come out of the situation
Talk to the reader, yeah.
and then kill her from the outside.
Yeah. And as for Sentry, well, we've already established he can rip apart the God of War. And Ares, the God of War, could probably, go toe-to-toe with Thor in a fist fight pretty easily. Hell, even the Hulk. So, Sentry we should leave out of the equation because he'd just destroy everybody.
Oh, I don't really know much about him. I'd like to know more. You said it was as if he was tying up two previous titles, one good, one bad. They didn't know what to do with them, so they put them into the same character and created the Void.
Yeah, the Void. Yeah, the Void is the kind of darker side, and yeah, Sentry's the good side. And well, then again, he's a bit of a loose cannon because he might, if the Sentry is feeling good, he still might not help you because he's so worried about what he might do if he turns bad. So
Okay.
So he's not a sure bet even when he's being good.
Curious.
Yeah, curious indeed. So that's a win for Marvel.
You're listening to Niche Radio here on Fab Radio International every Wednesday, 6 p.m. till 7 p.m. If you want to listen again, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Niche Radio, or follow us on Twitter at Niche Radio.
Niche nice, party time, excellent. Niche nights on Facebook. News, everyone. Then good news, everyone.
So just before we go and put on the news for you, we're going to share a little bit of good news just to outweigh the bad news you're inevitably going to hear very, very shortly. So what's your good news, Connell?
I have two pieces of good news this week. First, it's my girlfriend's birthday at the weekend, and we're going to have a party and celebrate and eat pizza.
Happy birthday, Claire.
Actually, three, because I'm also going to see the Halle play a lot of John Williams.
Yeah, jealous.
And my third one.
And so's Amy.
Is she really?
Hi, Amy.
Oh, no. Oh.
And my good
You called
news.
this good news.
My good news is I'm going back to Hereford, so big shout out to all the Hereford posse, and I will be seeing you all very, very soon.
Also, in the shop by our house, the range, they've got Thor Pez dispensers.
Oh, about time too. Well, thank you very much. It's been a lovely chatting to you, and please tune in next week for more Niche Radio, and tune in on Saturdays for our repeats, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Niche Nights.